I'm Nathalie Kalbach, and I'm here for Stampendous showing my new stamp line. So let's get started with some art journaling and get messy. What I'm gonna do, it's a messy place as you can see already. All the stamps come with a stencil inside. I'm gonna use the Mark Maker stamp set right now. And let's put some paint down just a little bit. So I'm gonna put some, squirty.
Natalie uses Liquitex, everything Liquitex.
Exactly, love me some Liquitex.
She's the Liquitex artist gal on their ads and commercials and packaging. We're so excited.
Thank you. So let's do this. So this is a good way to just start off a page where you don't think too much and you want to, overcome a little bit the fear of what am I going to do with my, paints and white page.
My favorite colors. I love that. Oh, it's so soothing. And
use the sprayer, I can really kind of like blend the colors together. I could go like forever, but then of course it just gets in one color. I want to have the different, color strokes still looking through. And this is my first layer, which is like a good base to start my page off from. So now, what we're really here for are the stamps and the stencils. So this is the stencil, which is in the Mark Maker set. You can use it like partly, you can use like the whole design of it. I just want to have like a couple snippets here, and I use either cosmetic sponge or these dabbers, and I just go over it and dab it on. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's mixed media, it's not about like, it doesn't need to be perfectly every bits and piece of that stencil coming through. So no, my paint was still a little bit wet.
Sure.
So of course the stencil sticks a little bit to it, so you have to be a bit
Which just
quicker.
makes additional marks that give it more character. And this is
about
only the second layer anyway.
Exactly. So you're going in here.
Love it, love it. This is a Dilutions journal that she's using. She likes the paper in these and the way they're bound.
Yeah, and you could totally just also, when you do a lot of like mono printing, and you would use like some mixed media paper, like the wonderful new one from Stampendous, you can use the single pages and actually bind your own art journal later together. It's really cool, so much fun. So, and it's always good to go a little bit, off the grid here. Because if you think of scrapbooking paper, the design is also like continuing off the edge.
Makes it look like there's more art later that you don't see.
Exactly. So here we go.
Beautiful. Ooh, fun.
Second layer. Here we go.
Super
I know I'm not cleaning my stencils. I know that's terrible for some of you, but I see them as tools. So I'm just gonna put them somewhere aside. And don't put them on top of another stencil because otherwise they will stick together and then it's not so much fun later. And then, where's my stamp set? Here it is. So, I also love to use my stamps or Stampendous stamps with acrylic paints. So you can do that actually with ink. And then you would use a handle because you want a precise image stamp. But again, this is a mixed media art journal page, so I'm not really that much concerned about a perfect image. I just want to have layers and grittiness to it. And I often use a cosmetic sponge to dab the paint on. So you can use this cosmetic sponge like several times if you just, cut that off. And then you're ready to go.
Good.
Which color? We gotta do a little bit darker, I think. How about some
oh yeah.
Here we go. Deep magenta. Okay, now look at that dirty butcher tray.
I love her little tray here, full of ink and paint and all kinds of fun things.
So, you want to have the paint a little bit thicker on there, so that the paint doesn't dry right away into the stamp. That's very important with the acrylic paint. So I just dab it on, and then I go right away. Oh, whoopsie. Oh well.
Oh well. It's only the third layer.
And then you can like play with it a little bit, you know, go round and again, like use this for some layering. And then you could go on forever, but that's boring, same stamp. So what am I going to do with the stamp right now? I'm too lazy to wash it off. I want to do something else in between. So this is not the best water tray for this, but you know what? I'm just going to stick it in so that my paint is not going to dry, right?
Okay, right.
And then I take it out later. You could also take a washcloth and just water it in a tray and put the stamp meanwhile on top of it. Perfect. Take care of it, like 10-15 minutes later you can wash everything off. So, next time, let's do a little bit mark making here. So, circles, always nice. So if you do the paint a little bit thicker, you also get a little bit more texture in the stamping images, which is a great way to use, you know, the stamps also to make texture with acrylic paint. You can also push them into pastes, modeling paste, for example, or gesso. The only thing that you have to do then, you have to wash it off right away. You have to work very quick, wash it off right away, because you don't want to have that dry onto your stamp. That would be sad. Well, it would be good. Maybe you want to buy another one,
right?
Yeah. But we don't want to go there right now. So then,
and you
again,
don't let that dry on your stencils either, right? If you use paste with your stencil, you wash it off
you
right
have
away.
to do, because otherwise you clog the little pieces there.
Sure.
Again, I'm just gonna dump this into my little, you know, it's really better if you use a bigger opening, but you know, that's how I roll.
That's awesome.
So now this is my favorite one of this whole set. It's the one with the, you know, like a wood block axis.
Yes, I love that.
So I really like that too. If I dare to say so, I love the stamp.
I love that Natalie's hands end up looking as good as the page. That's what I love.
And again,
little works of art.
I need a bigger table, by the way.
Always.
I'm always
there is no such
spreading
thing as a
out.
big enough table, is there?
By the way, they make fun of me here at Stampendous. They're saying I'm a messy person. I don't know why.
I don't make fun of you.
They
love
gave
it.
me the biggest paper roll to clean everything that you can imagine. So again, I don't use the handle, but I also, if you don't use the handle, I have a good way to kind of like, you know, push things into my book or into the texture. And
get it down in the cracks there.
right, and the awesome thing about them is they're really forgiving. So I do love that the stamps are, you know, it's not like, oh, can't touch them. You can touch them, you can bend them. I sometimes have them like really for a long time in water, even overnight, and they didn't come off. It's really awesome.
Good.
So now here's the stamp, right? This is how it looks like. A little bit well, tinted.
Yeah.
And I can use a baby wipe, and I just go in and I clean it. And mind you, it will not look like, you know, the super clean stamp it was before, but it's pretty close.
It is.
Okay? So all the acrylic paint is off and you're good to go.
And no one will steal your tools because they know they're yours.
Oh yeah. So the only thing you have to keep in mind if you work a lot with acrylic paint, that you're actually having a lot of acrylic paint on the backing. So if you're more like an inker, you know, you want them to stick on your jumbo handle on an acrylic plate for stamping, they will lose their grip. So you either have to be careful that you don't get too much acrylic paint on the back,
right,
or you wash them with a little bit of soap, dishwasher soap, and it makes it a little bit more sticky.
And you can actually clean the backside with rubbing alcohol too, and the picture will not come off. So if you need to restore the cling, you can do that.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
See, I learned something from this video.
Super fun. You see, there you
So
go.
excited.
It's a video for everyone.
Okay.
She's even got ink on her earlobe.
I love it.
Are you kidding me?
I love it.
Oh,
It's
no.
so stylish.
Yeah, it matches your shirt.
She is stylish. That's why Liquitex loves her. She wears their stuff everywhere.
Can we edit this out?
Yes. But I probably won't because it's fun.
Oh my god.
That's the other thing we love about Natalie. She laughs a lot. It's fun to work with her.
She's terrible. She laughs loud.
No, you're good.
Should we go like super crazy? Actually,
Let's go super crazy.
I would actually probably just like let this one dry a little bit.
Right. I love that page.
I want to show you what I did in between. So now what I'm going to do is, because it's still a little bit wet, and I don't want that to stick together if I just put the pages together, you know. So use some freezer paper or deli paper and you put that in between so it doesn't stick to each other.
Okay.
Actually, I like deli paper a little bit better.
Okay.
And then you lift it once in a while so that it doesn't, you know, dry up. So here I played also with the brayer in the background, and then I stamped, I used the Fiesta mask. So, not the mask, but this is the mask, and this is the, I'm sorry, Laura,
No,
this is
awesome.
going crazy.
Fiesta stencil.
So, this is the stencil. So what I did, I put that over here, right? And then I did the same thing with that turquoise color and the dabber. I kind of like just went over it.
Right.
And I inked it up, and then I let it dry. And then I put the stencil back on, and then you can do that with inks, you know, you can do that with acrylic paints. I inked up my stems. I went over the stencil again. But you could also even go crazy and put a stencil on a stencil. How crazy is that?
Love it.
Okay, so let's do that. You know, why not?
I think it's fantastic.
And so that stencil is from the...
Coffee Clutch, right?
Isn't she good?
Trained
So-
professional.
I know. Cut it off, throw it away. Make sure it's clean here, and they don't hate me.
Don't hate
Hate
you.
is a strong word.
We love you. I don't know where you got that idea.
So I'm going over, I have to look a little bit, where am I, right? So I'm going over the mask and the stencil.
She's remembering last year when we had to clean 50 creative palettes in the bathroom, and it was a little frustrating. So this year we just gave people their creative palette to take home and clean themselves. It worked much better.
That's a good idea. So look at this. I just use another stencil
Love it.
over the stencil, and I get the pattern in here. Right? I layer that on
Fantastic.
top. But then I can also use, for example, the mask. Not on the guy. It's not the same
No,
thing.
not
Doesn't
the
work.
same guy.
But you know, you can flip it around. But I can put that on top here. And now this is not going to look pretty. It's more a little bit showing what you can do. But I can put that stencil here over too, right? And I can do the same thing just over the mask, and then, you know, mask that area off and just use that to create a nice background with some, you know, pattern.
So
in the-
much fun. There's so much you can do. It's fantastic.
There's so many possibilities.
And
that
it's
you
great
can
to do a
with them.
journal like this because it just doesn't matter what you do. If you hate a page, you cover it over with something else or rip it
Right.
out or whatever.
So if you're like not happy with your page, you just gesso over it,
Yep.
or you just take another layer of paint and
Right.
you go from there. But look how much fun it is. And it's actually, I think, not that bad.
I love
because
it a
kinda
lot.
Like it ties
Yes.
this together, right?
I love the way that's happening.
I would go on and on,
Sure.
so I'm like really not done yet. But I also want to show you
Show us
another
some kind of
page.
fun done things.
So,
Maybe we'll come around and look over your shoulder so we can see them right side up. We'll see from Natalie's perspective here.
So here's the Mark Maker stamp too. You can see that in the background.
So much fun.
And it's like, you know, incorporated in the background. So I really like that too. And you can use it with all of kind of different stamps and designs. This one is a page. That's one with the old stamp set here.
Right, the mishmash. Yes.
Right, and used it to tie together the elements there.
Love it. Oh, and this is one of my favorites. That
That's
one.
the-
I love
that's
the
not-
colors. I
Here's
know, but I love the
almost
colors.
Here's a started page. So I often start pages and then I let them sit. This is the coffee clutch, and then I go back later, you know.
And you said the coffee clutch one was inspired by like doilies you saw in Spain, or what did
No,
you say?
actually the coffee clutch means like coffee time in
Right.
German. And, you know, doilies are part of a good
Your
old
coffee-
coffee clutch,
Okay,
right? But the
okay.
Fiesta set,
Fiesta was your Spanish trip.
that is the Spanish trip. I really had so much fun with that. And mark maker is, you know, to have like some
making great marks.
Yeah, making like marks. This is a part of Creative Jumpstart where I use the Stampendous.
Love it.
And here's something really crazy.
Oh,
so
she's
I actually
marvelous.
just got the stamp set and I wanted to try see how they look like, and I used some gesso over that stencil here, right?
Yeah.
Remember I said you have to clean it up right away.
Sure.
And then if you spray paint, here I spray painted with Liquitex acrylic spray paint over the stencil, and I had leftover paint on there. I just flipped it over, and that's where you get the negative image of this.
Lovely.
And here's the mark maker, stamps inside. And then again, stay out of the drama, right? Put the drama into your journal.
And did you draw that lady?
I'm actually not draw that lady. That's a magazine image, and I
Yes.
use a lot of like markers on top of that.
Oh, perfect.
And then you could even like tie the design a little bit together again and just go in with the stamp. So let's do that real quick.
Nice, okay.
Actually, that one is finished, but who cares? You know, I decide when it's finished. So I can go in here and even like stamp into her dress. And give her, well, that wasn't too clever,
Not
but
much, huh? I was like, oh, what?
oh wow.
Oh, wow, no, there we go.
Right,
Just
so
adds another layer of texture.
exactly. So again, here it's not for me about the exact image, but I repeat the pattern here and I get some more texture and I get that inside her dress. Again, push it into the water and you're good to go. This one again is also the mark maker. And it's a
Beautiful.
very light background here.
That's pretty.
You know, you don't have to use it like crazy. This one, we don't want to show that to anyone. That has to be covered up.
Glue those pages together.
Exactly. This one is just like, you know, also playing around.
That.
And you can see like if you also stay in the same color. So what I did was actually I stamped the background with acrylic paints, and then I did a wash over it with acrylic ink. And what it does is the acrylic paint resists the ink, so you can go
it's very
over and
translucent.
take it off, and so it's translucent. So it looks like a little wallpaper image if you do that. It's very, very subtle in the background, so
Oh, it's lovely.
so
I
it's a
love
lot
those
of fun.
colors.
So again, this is my play art journal. I
Sure.
want to show you some pages. And this is like a whole mess right now.
And we'll link Natalie's blog to this video so you can see all of her fun stuff because she blogs all the time with her great stamps.
So here are some designs. I have to find them first. Where I
Except
used
they're all
the-
amazing.
So
They're fine.
which one is that stem set again?
Is that the mishmash one? Or
That's the mishmash one.
Yes.
Right. So I used some of the mishmash in here. What else? Let me see. You can cut that off right there, like just for me. I'm sorry, hon.
It's okay.
But we wanted to show the old ones. Okay. Here, that's the mishmash too.
Yes, and the wired, I see.
Exactly. And then
Awesome. And the other one.
it's the
is
grunge.
The grunge, yes.
Right. Which I really like.
Yes,
And
you use that a lot.
I do use that a lot, and I use that also in a lot of my canvases. This is the grunge stamp. This is a grunge stamp. That's from the mishmash.
Yes.
But you see, you can kind of like tie it together, and if you use the same colors that you used in a broader sense in the background, and if you repeat the color scheme with your stamping, it actually ties everything together and doesn't look like crazy. Well, you might think it's crazy.
It does
I
not
don't
look
know.
crazy. It looks fantastic.
Okay, I don't
always
know
love
what
them.
else to
That's
tell you.
wonderful. That's a good enough to tell us. Thank you so much for coming and sharing everything with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.